Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no! I have always believed that no matter who we are or wherever we come from, we've always dreamed of being a part of a special kind of love story. The kind of love story that Zed and Addison told, and that was passed on to Victor and Nova, which is something that we're really excited about as fans of Descendants and Zombies. So let's talk about it. If you have not subscribed to this YouTube channel, you're perhaps going to want to think about doing that, because I have a lot to say where this one goes, because I've always believed and held on to the idea that this story is far from over. While it's believed by many people that this story has been told and completed over 1,000 times, I've refused to let go. And that may be because I feel very passionate about Descendants and Zombies like each and every one of you, and I've shared in my stories with you why I became a fan of Descendants and Zombies. And I took the chance on living near a soda plantation and a chemical plant that could have exploded. I know that sounds really crazy, but that's how I actually live my life, because I feel as if I'm going to record videos about Descendants and Zombies for you. I not only have to record videos about Descendants and Zombies, I've got to live the entire Descendants and Zombies experience for you, to really understand how it feels to be like each and every one of you, such a huge fan of Descendants and Zombies and in love with these franchises so much. I can't lie. I've always and forever loved and appreciated the love story of Zed and Addison. Unquestionably, they've held a special place in my heart for over 7 years, just as they have yours. And I've loved watching this story over 1,000 times, if not 1,000,000, because I think no matter how many times we watch this story, it never gets old. And I think that many of us who have become fans of Descendants and Zombies through these unforgettable years will never ever forget the significant impact they've had on our hearts and how much they've really changed our lives, because they've really gone on to really change our lives, I think, for the better, because they really allowed us to put our own lives into perspective. No matter what we may be going through, no matter what our circumstances are, we have seen it through because of our friends, because of our family, who have helped us make sense of everything going on around us. And I know that you guys have helped me make sense of everything going on around me, because you've made me one of the most popular YouTube channels in the world. Because this YouTube channel was never created by my soul. It was created by everybody who loved Descendants and Zombies, for every fan of Descendants and Zombies who has yet to discover and find this YouTube channel through clicking on my thumbnails. If you haven't already realized it, there is something here on this YouTube channel for everybody, because I've taken great pride in uploading videos about Descendants and Zombies through the years. I remember being sitting at home on February 16th, 2018. Where were you at? I was sitting at home and I was watching Zombies, and I remember feeling so captivated about this beautiful love story that I could watch 1,000 times over, and I actually did. With me, what you see is what you get. So I've watched Zombies over 1,000 times, and I've always told this story with a greater appreciation, far beyond any other YouTube creator and what they could ever imagine. Because I think that they just chose to criticize Descendants and Zombies without ever giving it much of a chance, and I really do believe that if they would have chosen to give it a chance and take the opportunity to have told this story the way that it was forever and always meant to be told, I think they would have come away with a greater appreciation. And I know everybody is a critic, as it's been said many times over the years, but I've never wanted to be a critic, and I've always wanted to shy away from that. And I've always wanted to give a chance to stars and franchises that have forever and always deserved a chance to be taken on them, and to be shown the respect that it's forever and always deserved. Because Zombies really did have a way of touching our hearts. I don't care who we are, no matter where we come from, no matter what's going on around us, we could always relate to these characters. And for the first time in our lives, we really did feel as if we were a part of something special. You know, each night I see the sun set, I think about that final kiss that Zed and Addison shared, that they were a part of, because it was a moment in history. It was undeniably history that we were all going to be a part of. We never wanted to say goodbye to these characters for how much they had meant to our hearts and how much they touched our hearts over the years. And I may be just saying this because I really did fall in love with this love story, because I thought it was cool how a girl could actually fall in love with a zombie. And now the torch has been passed from Meg Donnelly and Milo Manheim's characters to now Freya Skye and Malachi Burton, who I've become just as huge of a fan of. And I think we are going to love Victor and Nova as characters just as much as what we did Zed and Addison, and they will go on to mean so much and even more than what Zed and Addison ever did, because I think there is a lot of responsibility on their shoulders. People are wondering if they're going to come through with it, and I think they are going to do that, because one thing I've noticed about Victor and Nova are they are incredibly supportive of each other, and they really do love each other so much without ever saying the words "I love you" in a script. They've never actually told each other they love each other. They've kind of just done it behind the scenes, And I think that's the most adorable quality ever, because when you know that you love somebody like Victor and Nova have known for so long, it is really incredible to really experience how they truly feel about each other without each of them ever knowing how they truly feel about each other behind closed doors. And that's what makes this love story so compelling. That's what makes this love story so exciting to be a part of for me as the host of this show, because I wanted to feel very passionate about something, and Descendants of Zombies allowed me the opportunity to do just that for every fan of Descendants of Zombies, as you have joined me on this incredible journey, which is far from over, because this journey for many of us is only just beginning. Because I think every single time that we talk about Descendants of Zombies, the opportunity to have these conversations present themselves, more people are falling in love with the Zombies franchise than ever before, and some of the most beautiful friendships of all time have obviously happened and went down because of Descendants of Zombies. Now, I know a lot of people have been making predictions about Zombies 5. Some people are even going as far to say as they can't see it going past Zombie 6, but I really can see it going past Zombie 6, because you can't tell the story of a new franchise and its new characters, who are lovely, in just 2 installments. You've got to have up to 3 installments and make this one a trilogy, and that's pretty much what we're setting up for here, regardless of what the title is: Zombies 5 Rise of the Mermaids, or Zombies 5 Mermaids vs. Sirens. I've heard it all. I've seen and I've heard it all when it comes to these critics reviewing Zombies. They really haven't given it much of a chance or shown it much respect, and what you see with me is very different from every other video that you've ever watched about Descendants of Zombies, and that's why I can only hope that you hit my subscribe button, because you see, I think the most powerful way of ever talking about Descendants of Zombies is telling people how you truly felt about this franchise, how much the love story between Zed and Addison actually meant to your heart. And no matter how many times you have the chance of telling it, there's always a different way and a new effective way of telling it. I think this is exactly why so many people have felt intrigued by everything having to do with Descendants of Zombies. I also remember being a huge fan of Zombies, of the reanimated series, with Meg Donnelly and Milo Manheim lending their voices as part of the cast, doing the voiceovers, shooting it during the pandemic, and how much heart and dedication they brought forth to their animated characters. They did the same kind of thing with Sabrina the Teenage Witch, the reanimated series, years ago, and people just as much fell in love with the reanimated series Sabrina the Teenage Witch as they did the live-action TV series starring Melissa Joan Hart. So, seeing Meg Donnelly and Milo Manheim being so appreciative of these moments makes it worth it every single time for me as a YouTuber to talk about these moments. And now we're seeing things like Snow Angels and Winter's Dream from Freya Sky. Freya Sky's got this upcoming world tour. She's going to be doing it throughout the winter of 2026. Really excited about this, because in all honesty, guys, Freya Sky has deserved this for a very long time, and she's deserved the most special of opportunities to really make the most of herself. And I think she's really going to run away with it, because when you think about somebody like Freya Sky, you just listen to the lyrics. That's all you got to do. And you really got to find time in appreciating how she's so young, but she's writing so much of the more appreciative lyrics for songs that she's been a part of. That's what I get from Freya Sky's music, is that she's so young, but she's writing so many powerful lyrics that have never seemed to fail to touch our hearts. They are tens across the board when you talk about her albums, her EPs, and her songs. And this concert tour is something to be really excited about. I expect great reviews for this tour. I also expect a fair share of criticism, because Freya Sky has been no stranger to receiving criticism and being on the receiving end of it. But you won't hear that from me. So if you're looking for great reviews about Freya Sky, Meg Donnelly, Milo Manheim, the whole crew, you have come to the right place. And I promise you, I will forever and always be by your side. I will forever and always support you as fans of Descendants of Zombies, because that's what you've deserved. And you've deserved it for a very long time, because everybody is a critic. And it's time we do something about that, and do something about that together, because I see the greatest futures in store for your favorite Descendants of Zombie stars, especially the Zombies cast, who have come such a far distance in such a short amount of time, because they've accomplished so much. How much they believed in this franchise is a true testament to the reason behind Zombies' success. Because when you believe in a franchise, the possibilities are really endless. And I am one guy who has believed in these franchises just as much as each and every one of you, if not more. And I've taken great pride in having the chance to have become your voice of Descendants of Zombies. I also feel the same way about Kylie Cantrell and Malia Baker, and especially Ruby Rose Turner. I think we can never choose to give them more of a benefit of a doubt and more of a chance in this lifetime, because when you take a chance on not only your favorite zombie stars, but likewise your favorite Descendants stars, the possibilities are really endless. And I've been reading a lot of opportunities to do a crossover promotional kind of thing with Descendants of Zombies outside from the Worlds Collide Tour. And I think that a crossover opportunity for a TV series or a movie, a television program, that would be very compelling. I think a lot of people would very quickly get into that because I think that when it comes to the concepts of Descendants of Zombies, people really catch on very quickly, and they understand more than they ever given credit for. The thing is, when it comes to music dropped by Freya Sky or Kyle Cantrell, people can relate to that music, and they can relate to that music in so many emphatic ways. You know, years ago when I was your guys' age, 15, 16 years old, I could relate to music more often than ever given credit for. And then I became a DJ, and I would go DJ birthday parties and weddings and have the time of my life. I know some nights I wouldn't get off till 3 a.m. in the morning, but that's what was so fun about these opportunities, is having the opportunity to create and make nights and evenings special for everybody. Birthday parties, anniversaries, weddings, what have you. And, you know, I used to play a lot of great music that I grew up watching. And I think that if I was still DJing in this generation, I think the Descendants of Zombies soundtracks would definitely have to be on top of my playlist, because every song from the Descendants of Zombies soundtracks were songs that we could relate to, that we felt special because of. Songs like Shown Like a Villain, dating back as far as If Only and Space Between, really defined the original trilogy. And then came songs like Red, Life is Sweeter When You Are, these upcoming remixes of songs like Life is Sweeter When You Are. There was a remix of Uma, That's My Name. There are songs that we have forever and always felt closely to Descendants of Zombies because of, songs that more often than enough we could relate to. And I think that's what made us so special as fans of this niche, along with being so dedicated to who and what we loved and how we represented that, because some people feel very passionate about Descendants of Zombies merch, like the hoodies, the sweaters, the t-shirts. Everybody wants it all, especially if you're a girl. You want the Descendants of Zombies merch. You're probably expecting to get it under your tree this year for Christmas. And I have this to say to each and every one of you. Many of you are going to be running down over your stairs to check under your tree to see if you've got that one special item for Descendants of Zombies fans, like a hoodie, a sweater, a t-shirt. And I have this to say to each and every one of you, perhaps a doll. If you're passionate about Descendants of Zombies forever and always, then you should forever and always remain passionate about Descendants of Zombies, because your dedication and your heart, more importantly, really goes the distance and truly means the world to every fan of Descendants of Zombies, because I think every Descendants of Zombies fan is searching for another person who can relate to them, that feels the same way that they can, and that's what creates bonds between Descendants of Zombies fans, and that's why they become inseparable. You know, I've seen certain situations where people have become friends and bonded over Descendants of Zombies, and they've been the best of friends forever and always. They have forever remained friends, and that's the one consistent thing that they can appreciate and find time in having in their life and always make room for. And to be honest with each and every one of you, I think that's beautiful. And I wish more opportunities like this would arise and more chances like this would present itself for us to talk about Descendants of Zombies, because I really do look forward to our conversations every day, and I really do look forward to finding out how many people will eventually click on my thumbnail as I offer you predictions about Descendants of Zombies, crossover opportunities, world tour opportunities for Descendants of Zombies, the potentiality of Leg 2 of the Worlds Collide Tour becoming more of a reality than ever before. The cool thing is, when Leg 2 of the Worlds Collide Tour happens, the new songs from Descendants by Book Wonderland, at least if anything, will make it as part of the lineup, and we won't have to reiterate the same songs that were part of the lineup from this past summer, and Leg 2 of the Worlds Collide Tour will be just as authentic or very different from what we've seen, and that's something to be really excited about. And there will be a lot of PR for Leg 2 of the Worlds Collide Tour by the time it happens. You guys remember all the extensive PR your favorite Descendants of Zombie stars were a part of this past summer, and how appreciative they were to have been a part of the PR. And I know that Disney makes it look like, you know, they're having the time of their life being a part of it, but I think that we can kind of make an exception and say they were having the time of their life, because they were very appreciative of all these moments. They got to share them with each and every one of you, the meet and greets, the Q&As, which people paid top dollar for, and the VIP package experiences that many of you had. It was really a fun time to be a fan of Descendants of Zombies, and if there ever was a time to fall in love with these franchises, it was this past summer, because I know that this past summer will be a summer that I will never ever forget. Just having the chance to meet so many wonderful fans of Descendants of Zombies who have forever felt as if they were a part of something special, who had a desire and a dream of being a part of something special, just as Victor and Nova very quickly earned a special place in our hearts forever and always after seeing each other in a reoccurring dream. I think we can all relate to this beautiful love story because the setup for this beautiful love story was something to find time and appreciating, because I think we've all wanted to meet somebody that we've seen in a reoccurring dream. Even if we choose to admit to it or not, we've all gotten to that point in our lifetime, no matter how young or how old we become. I think we forever and always held on to something special, and Descendants of Zombies have allowed us to continue to hold on to that one thing that was special in all of our lives. Perhaps it was a friendship, perhaps it was a relationship we may have been caught up within that we forever and always dreamed to be a part of, or were a part of at one particular point or another in our lifetime. I think this all began with Meg Donnelly and Milo Manheim, and what Descendants of Zombies meant to their lives and how much it changed their lives for the better, because I remember when they were shooting Zombies in Toronto and how appreciative they were of this first time ever opportunity to become known and to really become established in the Disney organization, which oftentimes are really hard to do and is quite difficult. But what it had everything to do with is how you guys responded to Zombies, how you thought it was cool, and you really saw nothing wrong with putting that on display and letting the world know how you truly felt about the cast of Zombies. You know, I've been a fan of a lot of casts, Sam and Cat, Victorious, iCarly over the years, but I have never been such a huge fan and supporter of casts like Descendants of Zombies, because the compilations of these casts are full of talent, so appreciative of life, and every moment they ever have the chance to be a part of. So why can't we just celebrate these moments? Because these moments will never ever happen again, so they should have a chance of lasting for forever. And you too should believe in that chance of forever existing for each and every one of you, regardless of what your goals and your dreams and your aspirations have been over the last, at least I'll say, 10 years or more. I think you should continue to pursue your dreams, because your dreams start with a wish that only your heart can make. And I know that sounds very reminiscent of Cinderella, but because I was a huge Cinderella fan, I'll use that. I'll go ahead and use that, because I think that our dreams are that much closer to us than we ever do realize. And this is why Cinderella became one of the most revered Disney classics of all time and one of Disney's favorite fairy tales to tell, because no matter how many times you told it, it never got old, and many people never got tired of it. Because I remember being a fan of Cinderella from 1953 onward, and I remember the original Alice in Wonderland fairy tale for the first time being produced, I think it was over 55 years ago or something like that. So, you know, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland became something far more significant than anybody ever thought. It definitely exceeded the expectations of every reviewer at that time when the book was first dropped, and Disney created something special because of it, as he did Snow White, as he did Sleeping Beauty many years ago. So I think that this, you know, appreciation that we've garnered for Disney princesses over the years is just being celebrated with Descendants of Zombies more than ever before. And that's what makes it so cool and such a huge opportunity for me to be able to sit behind this microphone and to talk about Descendants of Zombies with a global audience, because I think it's so fun every single time we have the chance to really share with you guys our opinions on Descendants of Zombies. So if you have not subscribed to this YouTube channel, you're probably going to want to do that. We're just a couple of days away from Christmas, and I'm really excited to have that chance to spend the holiday season with each and every one of you, because I have so much to discuss. So because I have so much to discuss, we're going to keep doing this every day up until Descendants 5 Book Wonderland drops and eventually Zombies 5 drops, even if that means that I got to upload videos about Descendants of Zombies for the rest of my life. And I know that sometimes is very difficult to, you know, do, but I think that, you know, if that's what that means, I have had no regrets, because along my journey, I've had the honor of meeting so many incredible fans who too have felt likewise inspired by Descendants of Zombies, and all they ever want is to see something cool when it comes to Descendants of Zombies and be given hope for that foreseeable future. And I don't know about you guys, but I would love to be a part of that forthcoming future, because we still have so much to discuss and so much to be excited about, because I think, you know, reading your guys' predictions about mermaids and sirens, being that I live here on this island for forever, and I've heard so many stories about mermaids and sirens and everything that goes with it, I've had a greater appreciation for mermaids. So if there was one supernatural being or character that I would love to see be a part of the Descendants of Zombies franchises, I'll go ahead and say it. It's got to be mermaids, because I think everybody's also had a dream of being a mermaid. I would love to take myself up the opportunity to actually meet a mermaid. I don't know how many mermaids out there are watching this video or not, but I'm putting the shout out to mermaids, because the thing is, mermaids are just beautiful characters that I think oftentimes are more appreciated than ever given credit for. They add a lot of unpredictability to, you know, a franchise, and I think the opportunity to create more storylines than ever before obviously presents itself when it comes to zombies. And I think that after having seen, werewolves and aliens by Zombies 3, by Zombies 4, two different groups of vampires, it presents the chance for more storylines to be presented, more of a beautiful love story to be told between Victor and Nova, Freya Skye and Malachi Burton. And I'm really excited about the unforeseeable future when it comes to Descendants of Zombies, because we have so much more of a story to be told and so much to be excited about, really. And I'm excited to be a part of that future and here with you guys for the foreseeable future to talk everything Descendants of Zombies related for fans who have deserved way better reviews when it comes to Descendants of Zombies for a very long time. So I have this to say to each and every one of you: your hearts are in the right place. Keep on loving and supporting Descendants of Zombies just as you have, because your love and support for Descendants of Zombies truly does go the distance. And I just want to say thank you so much for having allowed me to have been your voice of Descendants of Zombies and a part of your lives over this last year. It's been an incredible journey and an opportunity that I will never ever forget. Thank you so much for having watched this video. Guys, don't forget to hit my like button, hit my subscribe button, and to ring my bell every single time that I upload a video, because I've got so much to say and celebrate with each and every one of you. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to everybody watching on YouTube from wherever you're hearing my voice or watching this video this evening. Thank you guys so much for just being here and being the fans of Descendants of Zombies, so loyal and dedicated to the franchises and the stars that you've known and that you've loved for X number of years. It's been so much fun, the greatest honor of my life, an honor that I will never ever forget, having the chance to have been your voice of Descendants of Zombies. Thank you so much for having watched this video.